Hi, this is Andrew here with UVify. Today we're going to be going over the camera angle setup on Draco as well as the video feed. For this, you're going to take your 1.3mm hex and slide it into the side of the bolt here. This is a standard bolt lefty to loosey, so we're going to unscrew it all the way until it comes all the way out. Once these bolts are out, please make sure to keep them in a safe place as they are small bolts and are easy to lose. Fortunately for this setup, you really only have to do this once. So we'll take one bolt out and two bolts out. But once you have your two bolts out, please make sure to keep them safe. For this, I'll be putting them on the table here. So we have our two bolts out. We're going to lay them safely to the side right here. Once those are off, simply grab the front of the cowling and pull it forward. You'll remove the cowling like this. We'll also stick this with the bolts over here. Now, to change our camera angle, there's two bolts, a lower bolt and a higher bolt. We're going to work with the higher bolt for changing the camera angle. With this higher bolt, we're going to slide our key in and loosen it a couple turns. We don't need to take this screw all the way out. We just need to take it off just enough so that it's out of the notch so that you can change the camera angle. So I did the right side and I also do the left side here. Again, only backing it out a couple turns until it is no longer in the notch so that you can change the camera angle. So, now we can take the camera itself and click it up or down based on where we want it to go. So, I don't think I removed these enough, once again. So if it doesn't easily move, this means you haven't backed the bolts out far enough. So I'll just do another couple turns on this one. And there we go, she moves up and down. So, for this, once you've got them backed off enough, you can click it to whatever position you want. So for the Draco, there is four main positions. There's 0 degrees, there's 20 degrees, there's 40 degrees, or there's 60 degrees of camera angle. If you're just getting into flying drones, we recommend that you start at 0 degrees. This means you're basically looking horizontal to where the drone is flying. If you're kind of getting into more some freestyle or racing around, we recommend you click it up to about 20 degrees of angle. This is where most people will fly. However, if you're into racing, you can also click it up to about 40 degrees for racing. There's also 60 degrees of camera angle for those people that are a little bit crazy and like to do some weird stuff. But for me, I'm going to be setting this up for racing. So I'm going to be clicking this down to 40 degrees of angle and then tightening the bolts back down. This is again done by taking your 1.3mm hex, putting it into the bolt and tightening these down. You want to make sure these are tight, but not over tight. We don't want to strip the head of the bolt or the thread on the bolt, but we also don't want it to vibrate loose in flight. So basically get it so that it's decently tight and then give another little quarter turn. We'll do the same on the other side. Basically, once these are down and tight, you'll be able to feel a little bit of wiggle on the camera, but not enough to be able to move it. So then you can take your cowling and slide it back on, like so, from the front all the way to the back, like so. It'll click in to place. So we take those two bolts that you put to the side for safekeeping and slide it into the two side slots here and here, and tighten them back down. So once you have the two bolts installed, you'll have your cowling back on the front and your camera angle set to what you would like. Now we need to check that the FPV feed itself is working. So for this, you will need your FPV feed watching device of choice. I have a pair of goggles here for full immersion, but you can use other things like screens or other devices for watching analog video feed. So for my goggles, I'm going to plug them in, at which point they will power up. And I'm also going to power the Draco. So to make sure the Draco is not beeping at you, also turn on your radio so that it doesn't annoy you with all the beeps. So once that's powered, we will turn on the Draco itself. Short, long press, short, long. And the Draco will power. At this point, it is now transmitting a video feed back to my goggles. The stock settings on the Draco are channel A, band 1, and 25 milliwatts. So I'm going to go into my goggles and select this channel. Band A, channel 1, like so. There, I can look into the goggles and see that I now have video feed. There are several different channels that are available within the Draco, so if you don't find the Draco initially on channel A1, please scan through the bands until you find your channel. Or if later on you do change your channel, this will be the easiest way to find it, is to be able to scan through your bands. There are several channels out there. Some Dracos will be capable of up to 40 channels or more or less, depending on your area. And so you'll be able to find the channel based on your scanning. So I'm now on channel A1. I have checked that the camera angle is good and that I have video feed. The other thing that you want to look at is focus of the camera. Sometimes the camera lens may have changed its focus slightly in shipping. For this, you simply turn the lens itself back and forth to loosen or tighten it. So mine is good, so I don't have to change any of these settings, and most of you will not have to deal with this anyways. So once we're done with that, we can power down the goggles. We can also power down the Draco, short, long, and power down our radio. So that's a quick setup video for the camera angle of the Draco as well as the video feed. Please head over to UVify.com for more information.